Well, this is part dos of the seamless transition and how to have that with your family when moving to Colorado Springs. Part one, if you did not watch that one already, you probably should, because there's a lot of really important tips in there for making the move seamless.
Yeah,
stress-free.
Stress-free and seamless. Talked a lot about the physical move aspect of it, things to think about. Something that this time of year, it's a great topic. Education. This is a big thing that a lot of our clients are concerned about, understandably so. Where the heck are your kids going to go to school at? Colorado is a little bit different than several other states from my understanding. I don't know if it's fully unique, but Colorado has a program called Choice In, where you don't have to have your kids go to the school that services your physical address. They can go to another school district or another school within that district if you want to. Now, as you can imagine, there can be a wait list for the really good schools, so you have to start that process really early. Some logistics associated with it. Obviously, the bus isn't going to come pick your kiddo up if you're on the other side of town, so you have to take them to school. But there's a lot of education options between private, public, and charter schools in Colorado Springs, and you've got to do some research about that to make sure that you get your kiddo or kiddos where you want them to be and feel comfortable about that to make that a nice, anxiety-free transition on the education side.
Which is a really big deal, because not to dive into the politics of education, but when you look at some of the issues of education just in society in general, there's this big frustration that it seems to be that the better schools are in these super expensive neighborhoods, and so then it seems to discriminate against those that are not in those neighborhoods, et cetera, et cetera. So it, in an interesting way, it provides an opportunity to allow students or kids to go to school wherever they can get in.
No, 100%.
Awesome. There's a school called the Village High School here that I think is the coolest high school. In fact, in my personal opinion, I think that it should be the model for the future of the American education system.
That's a pretty bold
yeah, it is.
there.
It is, because it kind of has a few benefits of private school, but also it's still a public school first and foremost. But it's just briefly, it's a hybrid school, so it's part online, part in person.
Yep.
Because the online high school, unbelievable dropout rate.
Very bad percentage,
but also
right? Yeah.
totally believable dropout rate, right?
Asking a bunch of 16-year-olds to do their work.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. But so the guy that started this school, which is a public school, I'm going to keep emphasizing that, he essentially saw the online school system failing, and then he was like, well, maybe I can try. And the superintendent was like, well, can't get any worse. That's for sure. But what's interesting is some of the students that are there are, for example, students that also attend the Olympic Training Center, and so they have 2-a-days or 3-a-days, or they've got 2-a-days in recovery session, and they can't be in a normal 7:30 to 3:30 school day. Yeah. I was there teaching a real estate course, actually, just as a guest speaker, and I met a kid who his family moves to Peru for half the year, so he does school while he's here. He attends full time. But then he just attends online when he's not here.
When he's not physically here. But he gives the family the option to because I'll say, man, that's one thing for myself. My son, he just finished up kindergarten, so he's going to be going to the first grade. That's a big thought that my wife and I have is, man, now the next 13 years of our lives are tied to our vacation is 1 month in the winter and then 3 months in the summer. That sounds terrible. So that's interesting.
Yeah, so the school is really, really incredible. And actually, gosh, I feel like we could do a whole video on just the Village High School because it's so incredible. The other really, really incredible thing about the school is what I really consider, if you're looking at how it's structured, is it's almost like a college light.
Okay.
So think about how bizarre it is that you have some kid who grows up and then from 5 to 18 is in a school building from 8:30 and 7:30 in the morning, or 8:30 in the morning till 3:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And then he's got his extracurriculars, whatever. But it's it is totally 100% structured.
Yeah.
And then we say, okay, good luck, go to college.
Where it's all at.
Where
you want to
total freedom, right? And you might not have class till 1 o'clock, or you might, whatever it is, and you're having to now manage your own time.
Yeah.
But you have effectively zero experience
managing
your own time. And so at the Village High School, it's pretty cool because it kind of gives them this opportunity, because they actually don't take attendance
at all.
Yeah.
You just have to do the assignments.
You just have to do the assignments, and obviously most students do come, whatever, but they, it literally, when you walk in there, it just feels like a college campus.
That's awesome.
Anyway, you will not be surprised to hear that the wait list on that school is pretty
Long,
extensive.
probably,
But
right.
again, it is a public school, so look it up. It's called the Village High School. The guy that runs it, the principal there, and like the whole staff is so incredible. Like, it was a totally different feel.
That's
from
awesome,
I've ever
yeah.
experienced. But anywho, and it doesn't matter if you don't live right down the street from that school. If you live in Colorado Springs, based on the school choice thing,
Yeah. Tons of options. You just got to do your research ahead of time to make sure you get into the place. Like you said, wait list really, really long.
Yeah, so a couple of websites that you can look, they'll be linked below. Niche.com, Niche. What's the other one?
Great or greaterschools.org.
Yeah.
One of those too, yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely check those out, yeah.
Check them out, do your own research, and then make your own plan of how you want to go about getting your kid enrolled. Sorry. We're gonna have a new rule too that the bystanders cannot sit at the table behind the camera.
Plus the
fair.
other
That's fair.
side.
I haven't done any.
Trinity Brew mac and cheese
Big
yeah,
bite.
is like look me in the eye.
Oh my god. That is really good.
Okay, tax system.
Moving right into the tax system.
Colorado taxes are actually not as bad as I thought that they would be, because by definition, Colorado is a blue state, and in a lot of blue states, you can really feel like the taxes kick your butt.
Yep.
It's not like Oregon. Like, we do have income tax, we've got sales tax. We've got all the normal taxes. But the one that people pay attention to a lot is property taxes.
Definitely. What do you think about property taxes right now? Top topic.
Okay,
Man.
so Colorado is generally known for not having super high property taxes, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
However, LOL, this year was kind of a gut punch to a lot of people because of just some intricacies in the real estate market. And, so the way, man, I'm not a tax expert, but the way that they're calculated is basically like the perceived value of your home times what's called a mill levy, which is like a tax rate, and boom, that's how much you're going to be taxed.
That's your
right?
one. That's your bill.
That's your bill. Well, the problem is this year, almost everybody saw a major jump in their bill, in their mortgage, because their taxes went phew. Now, it's not because the mill levy changed.
That's a key. Like, the rate stayed the same.
Yep.
No change in the rate, the property tax rate, but values have shot through the roof in Colorado. So, and it's not something that they evaluate every year either. So you kind of get this backlog. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, maybe, when the county evaluated, when they assessed the property values. In the last 3 years, we've had 35%, 40% appreciation. So now everybody's tax bill, like Kyle said, shot through the roof, but it's not because the rate changed, it's just because values have changed.
Okay, but you know what was kind of trash panda about this whole thing? It was kind of, it'd make you mad when you think of it like this. Is just like you said, there's a little bit of a backlog. What did they do? They based them off of the rates of last June, which was the absolute peak.
Highest of the
right?
high.
So it was like, it started going during COVID, and you guys all know the real estate market went super bananas, super quick. And then this year, all of a sudden, they're like, well, I think your house was worth this. And you're like, if I were to sell my home right now,
I'm not getting that.
it is like 10, 15% less than what you're trying to tax me on. But here's the problem, is if you miss the deadline, like an idiot,
you cannot go back and argue it.
yeah, so I missed the deadline because I was out traveling, and then I was just an idiot. And so now it's like telling me that my house is worth 10% more, which is a lot.
Than what it actually is.
So our mortgage definitely shot up a little bit.
It's a big frustration. I don't know. It's a lot of clients, past clients, that we had to reach out to us to say, how do I fight this? What information do I need? And we kind of help them through that process. But like you said, there is a time.
Yeah, and so how that affects you right now, what does this have to do with moving your family here and having a seamless transition? actually, it's when you're looking at houses, you have to understand that the projected tax that is a lot of times being given is based off of what they were paying
last year,
which was not as much as it is this year. Now, is it a drastic difference, like $500 or something like that? No, but like I think that's a lot of people. How much is yours go up?
Mine went up $3,500
a year?
annually. So divide that out by 12, whatever it is.
So like
Something
$300,
yeah.
right? Like almost $300
Yeah.
bucks a month, right?
That's a chunk, though, right?
That's a
yeah.
big chunk.
Not happy
That's a
about
whole
that.
tank of gas these days.
Right.
Hashtag Bidenomics. So anyway, so you just need to know that. Just take that into consideration. But overall, like for Colorado, the taxes are not that bad.
They're not bad. I know, like, if you're in Colorado Springs, sales tax, I think it's about 8%, maybe something like that. If you're in the county, it's about 5.2%, I think. Income tax is just over 4%. So
You have all that.
I don't know. I feel like I just looked at a lot of tax numbers. So overall, when compared to other places across the country, it's not that bad. I mean, it's all relative to less to pay tax, but compared to other places, we've done pretty good on the tax side, I think.
Yeah. So, strange. One of the things that I love the most about Colorado Springs is there's like no bugs. I don't like bugs.
It's one of the number one reasons you move here.
Yeah, seriously.
People from Louisiana move up here and they're like, bugs out
Yeah, there's like no mosquitoes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like some places where you can find a mosquito.
Right.
Too.
Maybe this year because it's rained a lot.
Maybe this
normally.
year. Yeah,
And,
but like no mosquitoes, barely any flies. Like there's not a lot of like intrusive bugs that are just
No.
like a general annoyance.
You don't even have to get a termite inspection in Colorado.
Yeah,
We don't have
yeah.
them, so
Now, I will say this year, I mean, is it every year? I feel like this year was bananas. The moth apocalypse.
this thing has been ridiculous. If you guys have never experienced the Miller moth apocalypse, as Kyle said, it's a whole different level, man. This has been a bad year. So this
Okay.
isn't totally normal. So I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but from what I understand, they come from the Eastern Plains, moths, larvae, something. But they come to Colorado Springs, and it is, I mean, they're not big moths. They're like this big. They're not pretty moths either. They're just these brown moths, and they get in every freaking little nook and cranny in your house. And it's been ridiculous at our house this year.
It was
it's
pretty
insane.
wild showing some houses that are like unoccupied.
Oh, you
right?
open that door and it's
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we definitely went to some. We went to this one house that, man, this house, these poor sellers. This house has been on the market for like an eternity.
moths are not helping.
Oh my gosh. So we opened the door, we go in, and they'd remodeled the house, whatever. And I ended up texting the listing agent, and I was like, just FYI, like, I don't care, but just so you know, there's probably 300 dead moths on the floor.
Ooh, that's not
Everywhere.
helping your house out, right?
Yeah, no, not
No.
at all. Like, you walk in with a client, and you're like, it's fine, guys.
swear it's
Trust
not.
me, it's fine. I think some of that has to do with like the house is unoccupied, a lot of stale air,
100%,
right?
yeah.
Like whatever, but old man. Yeah, it was like you're just finding moths, like holy cow, like everywhere.
And it's not just the moths themselves. It's the little, not to give too much detail, but it's the little red and orange poo-poo they put everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah, it like gets on like little drops on every damn surface. Oh,
This is what's funny is like initially when the moth thing started happening, I just thought it was strange that I was noticing moths everywhere, and so I
were you videoing moths?
No. So I went onto Google and I was like, well, because I kept seeing them in weird places, and I was kind of like, you know, so I looked up like, I don't remember if I typed in like the Native American, like, you know, symbology of a moth.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know, like the spiritual meaning of
Yeah.
a moth or whatever. And then I realized they were just everywhere. It was a moth apocalypse.
It's not just your house.
And I
Yeah.
had nothing to do with
You were not special
my
this time.
spiritual freaking journey. It was just
They
tons
were
of moths
everywhere.
Yeah, but when
That's the big.
but,
man.
but that's like it.
Yeah.
That's snakes.
Yeah.
Like there are spiders, I guess, but like
Few bugs.
okay, a spider a year, like fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been pretty great. Like you don't have to deal with all that stuff, and then. As the seasons change and you get towards winter, so if you are moving here in the winter,
This is
homes, there's like some steps that you have to take to winterize your home, because while we have relatively really mild summers, I mean, overall we have mild winters too, but like
Still freezes though.
relative.
Yeah.
And sometimes those mild winters, like we had like 2 or 3 weeks below zero.
Yeah. And this
Which is really cold.
It's stupid cold. And this, I mean, hey, if you're moving from Florida, you've never had to winterize. You've never had to blow out your sprinklers before. You're not even thinking about this stuff. But if you move here and you forget to do it, we always try to remind people. But if you forget to do it,
Or if you do it incorrectly, like I did.
a couple $1,000 bill probably have the sprinkler man come out and fix it up. So
Yeah.
yeah, you don't want to do that. Like Kyle said, there's a few steps you need to do to winterize your property if you're not from a cold winter environment. It's not a lot, but if you don't do it, it can get pretty pricey.
Yeah. That being said, at least we have not super hot summers.
Exactly.
I mean, I'll take a cold winter personally.
Over
but
hot summer.
I think the biggest thing is really just the outdoor sprinkler systems and the spigots.
Yeah.
Now,
Spigots.
winterizing your yard and keeping things so that they survive the next
Water
year.
your trees or whatever.
Still TBD.
Yeah.
I still don't know how to do that.
20
I've
acres.
killed 2 blue spruce pine trees, which like cost a lot.
Right, yeah.
Killed 2 of them, and I don't know how or I don't know why. So
But they died.
if you can help me, please. So, anywho, so this was part 2. Really, part 1 is where the juice of like what you really need to do. And so, if you didn't watch that, the reminder is, in general, if you're going to move somewhere where you don't know anybody or anything about the area, find somebody that does.
Someone local.
Yeah,
100%.
we are the relocation team for here in Colorado Springs. We deal with and help clients all the time that are moving from out of state. I've got clients right now that are moving from Hawaii, other ones that are moving from Canada that have never been here, and they don't have the opportunity to come take a visit. So we'll have honest conversations, get to know each other, and then we can really help you with that transition step by step to make it as smooth as possible.
100%. 100%. Call, text, email, comments. We're here for you, whatever you guys need.